Welcome. Hello. It's Saturday, May 2nd. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Dr. Gina Page, president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com, and I'm here for another conversation with African Ancestry family members. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining me. It's good to see you, all these familiar faces, so to speak, and new faces too. How are you all doing today on this Saturday? It's absolutely gorgeous here in Washington, D.C. Can't wait to get outside and go for a walk. I've been in the house all day, and I'm seeing people walk up and down the street, and I have to get out. Hello, Brazil. Muy Belle's in the house. Shout out to Ty, La Vie Afrohem, who holds it down for us on all of our lives in the comments and producing, getting the guests on and everything else. Thank you so much, Ty. Mary's in the house. Tanae, Madame Tanae is in the house. Hello. Welcome, everybody. So, as you know, we're in the middle of a promotion here at AfricanAncestry.com. If you check the link in the bio, you will go directly to our shopping cart where everything is 10% off. The entire site is 10% off. So now is a great time for you to join us in transforming the way we view ourselves as Black people and the way we view Africa. We can help you do that with your DNA. So if you've been looking for a connection, if you've been longing for that connection to where your people were from, you know that you were born here, or you know you were born in the Caribbean, or you know you were born in Brazil, but you know that that's not really where you're from. We can help you answer that question by connecting you to the present day African country, not a region, and ethnic group or tribe that you share ancestry with. And so I encourage you to take a look and see what you have, what we have to offer on our shopping cart. For those of you who've traced your ancestry, all of our pendants, our personalized certificates, our t-shirts, our journals, head wraps, fans, all of that stuff is on sale now for 10% off. So take a look over there. But that's not why we're here. Why we're here right now is because we're going to talk today to Michael Friend. Shout out to Jody Friend, who is a friend of mine, and she is a friend, but also an amazing HR professional who helps us with her business, JLM and Associates. And so Michael is her husband, and that's how I came to know him. But I'm very interested in his path to African ancestry. Shout out to my mother who's on here. How'd you guys enjoy my father yesterday? If you caught that, he was dropping some serious nuggets. I come from good stock, you all, but I'm pulling Michael in. Here's his drum roll, his silent drum roll. While he comes in. Sometimes my drum roll lasts longer than other times. There you are.
I'm in. Hey, Gina.
Hey, good to see you. All that soul and motion in the background.
Oh, you got to represent,
That's right.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. This is my favorite part of the day. I've been doing this, Michael, since March 27th, every day. I don't know how people do this. I don't think people do this. I don't think sane people come on here every single day. But I'm having a ball, and I'm very glad that you have joined us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So I start every conversation with 3 words. I'm going to give you a word, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind when you hear it, okay?
Okay.
Africa.
Heritage.
DNA.
History.
Identity.
Me.
Nice. Okay. No questions about those. Those are all very clear to me. Sometimes people hit me with ones and I'm like, oh, okay. What makes you say that? So, Michael, tell us what your path to African ancestry was. And
so as you said,
what the impact has been.
Yeah. So as you said, Jody being connected with African Ancestry exposed me to the whole idea of learning about DNA from an African perspective. And so that brought it right home for me, of course.
For obvious reasons. I didn't
So,
tell people what you do, but I'm sure you'll weave that in.
yeah, so being an African drummer and director of theater, it sort of made sense at some point to try to figure out exactly where in Africa, my lineage came from. And, I've been playing drums since I was 11, 1969. So clearly there's something in my DNA that has drawn me to the culture of African dance and drum. So African Ancestry, it was perfect. It was right here. It was like, wow, Jody I think it had it done for her mom and her dad. And so it was just a matter of reaching out. But then I said, well, let's try to connect the dots. It would be great to have you come out and do a reveal on top of that. So I was, taking my chances. I said, I'll reach out to, I'll go through the people, the folks, and, I won't just call Gina directly. I'm going to work, I'm going to try to go through the folks to get it to work. And it did, of course we got rescheduled because of the what do you call it, the shutdown last year. And so you guys were kind enough to come out and do the reveal this year.
And so I tell the story sometimes of one of our family members, Naware Burge, who waited 2 years, but he actually had the envelope. He held his envelope for 2 years waiting for a reveal. You waited quite a bit. Now, you didn't have the envelope, but what was
Yeah.
that wait like? Were you
I was,
anxious?
I
I mean,
was,
you're pretty laid back, but what was
yeah,
going
I
on in
was,
your mind?
I was pretty cool with it. I mean, I had made up my mind. I thought it was going to say Ghana, just because I've been here in Ghana over the years. And as I've been to Africa twice. I've been blessed. I've been to Senegal and Cameroon. But still in the back of my mind, I was thinking Ghana. So I was okay with that. So I think it was just a matter of either it was going to confirm that it was Ghana, or surprisingly it was going to be, somewhere else.
And so, what
And
was it?
it's the Temne people of Sierra Leone.
Nice, nice.
And I'm excited about that. We mentioned this at the reveal in February. So our show next year, Soul Emotions Black History Month show next year will be called Sierra Leone. And so since I saw you last, I'm doing, just a lot of reading and, studying up on Sierra Leone. We're talking about the music and the people and the culture. And I think the way the show is going to start out is going to be a video of Eugenia saying, and you're from Sierra Leone. And that'll be the start of the show. So I'll have to get your approval for the copyright of that video so we
Oh,
can show that.
approved, approved. So listen, as an African drummer and as the leader, creator of Soul in Motion, which is an African dance and drum theater group, uh, what types of African styles does your group perform, or have you performed over the years?
Yeah, so most of the styles that we present emanate from Senegal and Guinea and Mali. And most of the African dance and drum companies in the United States, specifically in Philadelphia, where I'm from, and in DC, we were very fortunate in the late 70s and 80s to have members of the ballets of those countries come over to the United States. And then they stayed and were sponsored by many of the groups here. And while they were here staying, we were able to learn directly from the ballet members that taught us these styles from those countries, and specifically Guinea, a lot of Guinea and a lot of Senegal. Djembe drum is really emanating out of Mali. So we get that, by design. But no, also in Philadelphia, before the djembe really arrived in the United States, now I'm talking back in the 60s now, we played a lot of conga. And congas, bongo, came by way of Cuba and Brazil, where, in Brazil, people that know their history, 80+% of people in Brazil are from Africa. So you have that melting pot. And that's how we came up with that whole identity Afro-Cuban, because we knew about that, and we knew about folks in Cuba, but we didn't really know the Yoruba and the African connection. And Castro kept that suppressed for a long time. I mean, Castro was just like, Cuba, you can't travel to Cuba. We're not letting people leave Cuba, you know. And then it kind of blew open in probably the late 60s. And in Cuba, they were calling it Santeria. Santeria is Yoruba.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh my goodness, who knew, you know? So it all kind of came, the world got much smaller with the internet. You know, it became very global very quickly, especially for those of us who are musicians and dancers to understand that culture. So we represent all of that in Soul Emotion. We love being able to honor the lineage of Africa, but also identify with African American, you know, who we are as a people.
That's great. I wanted to just make sure. I'm Gina Page, president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com. And I'm here with Michael Friend, who is the creator, director,
That's right. The guy who mops the
creative
floors.
mind behind Soul in Motion.
Yeah.
And we, listen, I had never, quite honestly, I had never seen Soul in Motion. And when I came to that show, was it February now? It was,
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
the end of February, though, I think.
Yeah, it was the third weekend in February.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I came to this show, I was blown away.
Oh,
I didn't
thank
know
you.
what to expect, but in my mind, I thought it would just be drumming and dancing. But it
Mm,
really is a theatrical performance. And
yes.
you were telling stories through dance and music, but you also had spoken word. And uh, it was such a full, very full night.
Yeah. I'm always excited when people come and see us, especially people I've known for a long time
Uh-huh.
who over the 30 plus years have never come, and then they come, and I'm always excited for them because I really think it's an experience. When you finally do show up and discover the group and see it, it's like, wow. And I love that wow factor because I just think that we've always done good work. And people come when they finally get around to coming and say, "Oh, let me go check out this thing." And I think the reaction is always the same. So I'm always honored and blessed that we get that kind of response.
Yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal, and I can't even wait. Next year when you do it, we're gonna be rolling in there deep with Sierra Leone. Everybody I know in this area who we've traced to Sierra Leone. I'm gonna be like, let's go. We're going together. We're gonna be in there because why
Yeah,
not, right? And I
yeah,
think it will be very educational to see the styles
mm,
that come out of your research that you'll
mm,
be incorporating into the next performance.
yeah. There's a story there, and I think just the idea that you did the maternal side and the way you described it just in that short paragraph, about a woman, a Timne woman, and that's where it sort of started, and and through my mom, and so there's enough there in that nugget for me. My mind just kind of runs with drama and theater and writing, so I can take that and run with it, and just find out more about the people, the music, and tell that story. So it will be a story within a story. It'll be my own personal story, but a broader story for those that also, Papa Aziz, who's in our group, also his lineage is Sierra Leone. So he was so excited. He was like, "We really are brothers."
That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So he grabbed me right after the show, and because I always call him Big Brother, and that's just a nickname that I gave him. I always say Big Brother. How you doing, Big Brother? So it really hit home after the show. He came and he goes, "Oh, we really are brothers." We had a big hug backstage. So
Now
I'm
you
excited
all have
about it.
children. How were your children impacted? I know your son was there that evening.
Yeah. So
How were
Jabari,
how they received the information?
I think Jabari has this yearning to go to Africa. He's trying to save his money to do that. He was doing our videography, and so I think right now at 24, 25, he's right there in that place where he's sort of taking it all in the culture. My daughter was there. She's 32, 33 this year, and they know dad. This is all they've known dad to do, so all their lives, running out every Tuesday night to rehearse, got the drum, dancer, so it makes sense for them. It's just part of the whole history of who their dad is, to find out the connection to Africa. So I think for them, it's just sort of, oh, okay, all right, that makes sense, and so they're excited about it as well. But one thing I did want to mention, I did last Sunday, I did a Facebook Live,
Okay.
and for Soul Motion, and I built this whole sound stage here in my
I
basement. So that's
know.
where you
I'm
see something.
I'm really jealous. I'm like looking at my red background, thinking, Ty, we've let Michael Friend outdo us. We got to step up our game, our at home
Yeah,
game.
yeah, I got a bunch of instruments back here, and so last Sunday was the first Facebook Live. I called it "Checking In from the Quarantine." And I interviewed 4 or 5 people. I interviewed Brooke Kidd from Joe's Movement Emporium and Sylvia Suma from Dance Africa and Deshauna Spencer, the founder of Quayle TV,
Mhm.
Doc Gibbs, my mentor, and Pam Roan, Lassiter Roan, our associate director. But I really wanted to use the time to reach out to other artists and just say, hey, how are you doing? How are we getting through this? What's it going to look like on the other side? And so it's funny we were talking about February because we don't know really what that's going to look like. Is it going to be through social media? Is it going to be a thing where we're going to record it at the theater and then have to package it up and sell it through social media that way? So me being a technical guy, I'm just kind of preparing for that right now. Just saying,
Mhm.
hey, that may be the new normal. It may be saying, hey, Gina, we got to send out this link. It's going to be $5. People can check out the concert. It's going to be, that may be where we're headed with this. We just don't know, but we want to be prepared, either way, and not be behind the 8 ball when it, finally comes to be. So we'll find out, in the next 3, 4, 5 months exactly how we're going to
Yeah.
present this whole thing. Yeah.
But I've been exploring this idea of when a pivot becomes a push.
Mm,
And so your pivot, we've all been forced to pivot pretty much, right? The
for sure.
pivot is thinking about how you capture this and distribute it should we not be able to come see it in person. But
Hmm.
the push is, I would bet $20 that you've heard from more than one person. Did you record the show? Is there a recording that I can watch because I loved it when I was there and
Hmm.
I want to see
Hmm.
it, or I wasn't able to make it. And so
Yeah.
I feel like this is a push potentially for you, that even if we can come to the theater, I certainly hope that you will be prepared, because as a business, that's an additional revenue stream that will allow you to reach so many more people than can fit inside of Joe's Movement Emporium. And we need people to see your work.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I really do appreciate it. I caught your father yesterday, and yeah, so I'm thinking, oh, I got to come. I have to come behind Dr. Page, really? Oh, okay.
Well, look, you did a good job. You educating us about the 60s and the 70s. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to write that book one day. I've got tons of stories on that. But I agree with you. I think, in years past, we've always been hesitant to post the entire concert because it's unfair to people who have paid to come to the show. We'll dribble out snippets, oh, this is a scene from it, that kind of thing. Or if they want to buy the DVD, it's fine. But I think where we're headed is exactly what you just touched on. I think because there are going to be people that are going to be real hesitant to come to a theater space or movie theater. They just are. So if you have a place that seats 200, you probably, I mean, if you get 50 people in there, because everybody wants to be spaced, and
Mm-hmm.
people aren't, they're just going to be real anxious about coming out, and we have to understand that. So how are we going to reach them? And this is the medium, what we're doing right now. This is it. And I know Facebook is going to announce in 2 weeks or so how we can monetize that. They're going to allow you to be able to charge for your Facebook Lives. And I think Mark is talking about, disclosing that in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm really anxious to get that information and jump on it and begin to say, okay, that's how we're going to do this and feel out the waters. I think people will appreciate being able to stay home, relax. Jabari is doing this whole 4 or 5 camera shoot thing. We did that last week from the house with all the different camera angles, and so I got my own built-in videographer right here who's doing multi-camera
Wow.
shooting right already. So we're prepared, and I think before we get to February, we can do a few small things.
Yeah.
Just open it up, say $5, see how people take to it. But I think it's going to be the wave of the future for sure.
And I don't think it's unfair to people who were at the performance. If I had known you back then, I would have pushed back on you because they got, like the one I went to, we got the benefit of feeling that energy directly. We got the benefit of the crowd's reaction when Baba Melvin got up and
Oh
started
wow.
dancing. Like there's just, if you weren't there, you missed out. It's not like we're going to be upset because other people get to see it later.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're making that switch. So if I don't want to keep you all night, in closing, can you share with us why you think this is important? I mean, it was important enough for you to do, but what would you say to someone else who is on the fence or is like, I don't even know why I would do that?
Hmm. Now, what are you referring to?
Tracing your ancestry with
Ah,
African ancestry.
yes, yes, yes,
Sorry, I'm
yes.
getting back to my business now.
I'm I'm keeping up. So yeah, so no, I would say to folks who are on the fence, you know, wow, this is a big answer because part of our education is teaching our people about our importance, our value, our beauty, our culture. And so when you come to one of our shows, we've had people come to our shows and go, wow, I never knew that about us as Black people. I never understood what it meant to say African American, but you guys brought it home. This is beautiful. The dance, this is who we are. They're excited. And so, to answer your question, that's why I think people should do it because understand that we aren't who they try to tell us we are. We are a beautiful people. We have a culture. And so, I have these 4 lines that I wrote, and it says, we are Africa, African American. We have a culture, a history, and a future. And that was inspired by Tony Browder, his book, From the Browder Files. And so that's it right there. I mean, even if you're not sure, just go for it and get the information and see how you feel after that. If you don't feel more dynamic, more energetic, more powerful knowing where you're from, then Gina will give you your money back.
We're going to send this to Jabari for editing. Gina will not give you your money back because this is must-have information, whether you're going to absorb it at first or not.
Oh, but that is so exciting, Gina, that I think if people just take the leap, because if they're not going to do it, then we're not going to be able to convince them. But I think if they're on the fence,
Yeah.
there's no way that you can't feel, you're going to feel more powerful. You're going to wake up in the morning and go, wow, I know now. I know what my connection is. I come from a continent of people, of power, of energy, and just embrace that every day. If that can't get you up in the morning, I don't know what else will. So that's why, I mean, my thing is, we're going to edit this. Gina's going to make this a commercial and say, hey, go get it done.
Absolutely. Thank you. That I like that waking up with the feeling of I have a power and I have an energy. That
Mm.
I'm gonna try that tomorrow. Because I'm telling you, some days I'm like, ooh, it sure would be nice to just stay in this bed. And shout out to a friend and colleague of mine, Angela Hawkins. She runs a business called Bamblu, Bamblu. She's online, bamblu.com. And that woman sells these bamboo sheets. When I tell you, I was hesitant. Everyone
Mhm.
in our group had been getting these sheets in her pajamas and just saying how great they were. And I was like, okay, it's sheets. I'm just not that sophisticated. But I bought the sheets. And when I tell you now, I don't want to get out of the bed in the morning. And before when I would be out at work and come back home, I couldn't wait to come home and get in the bed. So shout out to Bamblu. You all check her out over at bamblu.com. You will not regret that referral at all. But I want to thank
Sure.
you, Michael Friend, Soul in
Thank you,
Motion,
Gina
for
Page.
joining us this afternoon. Shout out to Jody. Please give her my regards. I couldn't see if she's on here, but I appreciate your time and I appreciate your perspective.
Mm.
We have had two powerful men telling us, educating us, schooling us, if you will, over this weekend so far about uh, more about who we are and how our connections to Africa have been around in our
Mm.
consciousness as Black folks since the 60s and the 70s and even earlier than that. So I thank you for sharing that wisdom. Everybody, listen, it's beautiful outside here in DC. So I hope that you're taking advantage of getting outside in this weather wherever you are. And when you are doing that, please continue to social distance. Please continue to wear your mask when necessary, your gloves, whatever you got to do so that we can get through this together on to the other side and go see Soul in Motion in
Oh, thank you.
February. I will be back here tomorrow at 5 p.m. And then after tomorrow, we're moving to a twice a week. So we won't be doing it every week. But hey, listen, I forgot to mention. So next week is the lead up to Mother's Day. And so every day next week on Facebook, we're going to be revealing the ancestry of a mom
Oh,
as a
nice.
pre-Mother's Day gift. And so if you all are so inclined, I hope you're following us on Facebook too, and you can come join us at 6 every day as a new mom we welcome a new mom into the African Ancestry family. Until we meet again, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be whole. Take care, Michael. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Gina.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.